Approaching the 2024 SCAC Fall Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the Schreiner University women's soccer program. Mountaineers will once again be led as we head into the season of the guidance of head coach Damian Macias, along with senior leadership from Matiana Cancino and Chloe Mills. And Coach Matiana and Chloe, thanks so much for joining us today.
Morning. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Coach, we'll open up with you as you get prepared to start a new season. Where have you seen the biggest growth in your program over these last couple of years as you've taken over and started to build this foundation? And, ultimately, how excited you just be back at the start of a new season?
I mean, honestly, super excited to have the girls back on campus. It was a long summer, right? They all are. You get busy, bound up, recruiting, doing work. And, their energy kind of brings back a little bit of life to you and some, all the personalities and everything else. And that's super fun, right? Watching them come together and develop those relationships and drive the program. Growth-wise, I think, first recruiting class in, I think we've done a decent job of building, quality and depth and just options, so to speak, in terms of, what can we do? What can we possibly do? Can it have a little bit of variety in terms of the look and, tactics and things of that nature, as well as, like I said, depth. But culturally, I think that shift was a huge priority up for us. Everybody's looking for a good kid, a good teammate, a good student, as well as a good athlete. I think we did a decent job of bringing that new life into the program as well. And kind of just building a solid cultural foundation to build on and move forward.
Matiana, as you head into this season, your senior year, you've been a huge part of this program really since day one. Arriving there at Kerrville, you made 47 starts in your 48 games played. Coming into this final go around, what's been your mindset as you've entered preseason? Is there a sense of urgency from you, and how much are you looking forward to the start of the senior year?
Personally, I think as a senior, I just want to leave it all out there. There's nothing left to give. I don't plan on playing soccer after this, so I just want to leave everything out there. I don't want to regret anything after this. I want to score some goals. I want to win some games. I want to make a name for myself. I want to leave something here at Schreiner.
Chloe, what are the vibes been like as preseason has gotten started? How's the mood of this team as camp has gotten underway? And what are some things this group has really been focused and working on to grow and get better as a team coming into the start of this year?
This team is definitely the most cohesive, well-rounded team I've been a part of in all my time here at Schreiner. I think Mati can agree with me. Everybody's got a good vibe. We're all happy when we show up to practice, and really we're having fun with the sport. And that's really exciting as a senior to see these younger girls walk up and be just as committed as I am, trying to, push through to that senior year, really set a goal for ourselves. So I'm really happy with the commitment levels and the team chemistry. I think that has grown significantly since my freshman year. And so I'm really looking forward to get to play with these girls, and I'm upset I only get 1 year with them. So yeah, senior year.
Coach, you talk about the growth and bringing in these new recruiting classes, and you look at this team, it's a nice blend of veteran leadership. I think you have 6 returning athletes that made 7 or more starts from last year, and then a big group of first years, I think 13 in total. And so when you had that blend of the veterans with the newcomers, how does that take shape and the dynamic when it comes to preseason? Is it something that you feel helps drive a competitive atmosphere? And what do you enjoy most about having that type of blend of veterans and new faces in your program as you start the year?
I mean, I think you just nailed it, right? You kind of elevate the attitude, the culture piece, and the competitive pieces. And I think we have that going on, and it's a good problem to have, right? I mean, we sit in the office and we've got tough decisions to make. Do we think this kid offers this in this position? Do we think this player offers this in this position? And they're not fun conversations, right? Everybody wants to play, everybody wants to start, everybody wants to do this and do that. But, some honesty in that conversation has to be brought. And we're like, okay, yeah, we're looking at this, we're looking at that. And everybody knows, right? It's a long season. And getting from a Friday to a Sunday is one challenge. Getting to a Friday to a Sunday over the course of 2.5, 3 months is an entirely different beast, right? And soccer's soccer, and at the collegiate level, it's different than other levels. And so things add up. And if we all buy into doing our pieces right and owning our roles, on any given day. You might be starting, you might be coming on to maintain a level, you might be coming on to shift a game and change what we're trying to do. You might be, teeing it off, right, and getting the show going. So I think that this group right here is probably the first step in that evolution, right, moving forward and getting to, I guess, the tough decisions for us as a staff as we move forward. But yeah, we're in the heart of it right now. Quality at practice has been good, and attitudes have been good, and the way they're interacting with each other has been super fun to watch.
Matiana, you talk about wanting to score goals coming into this season as one of the veteran leaders in that forward group. Talk a little about this offense. What offensively does this team need to continue to do well from a season ago? What offensively does this team need to try to get better and grow in ways as you get prepared for the start of this season?
So I think one thing that we are kind of looking for this season is just to be dangerous in the box, just to kind of put things away, put our chances away. We can build all we want, but at the end of the day, we need to finish. We need to score some goals. We need to do what we have to do offensively. I think one thing we do well is the building. We pass really well. We possess really well, but the final third is usually something we struggle with. So I think coming into senior year, I just want to set the tone on being dangerous. I want to be dangerous. I want to show them what it's like to be dangerous and how it feels to score a goal. Yeah.
Chloe, on the flip side, as one of the leaders of the defensive side, and soccer obviously can be won and lost in those 18 box areas. So, what are some things defensively this group is working on? How are you working to defend that your 18? And what do you think is going to be key in order to have a successful season from that defensive standpoint going into the year?
Right now, one of our focuses defensively is shifting as a group, just moving as together. If one steps, we all step. We got to move as a team, move as a unit. But something I think we do really well are those recoveries. If somebody's going, they're going to get to that ball before that other team. And so I'm really proud of my back line. We've had some strong years, and obviously there have been mistakes that have happened and goals that have been let in. But I think this year coming out of the back, it's going to be a good group of girls, and I'm excited to see how many shutouts we can get.
Coach, looking at this first year class, as I mentioned, 13 in total, how have those newcomers started to adjust to your program? What are some things that you look to see early on in returns from some of these younger players that give you confidence that they're making that transition, into their first year at the collegiate game?
Yeah, I mean, soccer-wise, it's obviously, how are we fitting into the group and committing to, or how comfortable are we putting it out there? Are we, the freshman that goes out and doesn't know that they're supposed to be a freshman, right? Or are they the one that kind of gets bound up and goes, uh-oh, now I'm a freshman. What do I do? How do I act? Who am I around? But I think the bigger picture, right, would be just adjusting to being away from home, adapting as a student, as a college student, managing laundry, meals, and a little bit of accountability with your own schedule, right? And once we can make sure that everybody's settled into their day to day, and that then we can add the soccer piece. I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse. We're on week 1, day 2, right? So we are figuring out how we're going to do, but at first blush, I'd say that most of the group is doing pretty well with these things, right? And so we'll move forward from there. Soccer-wise, it's just that. Am I going to adapt to being a freshman, and am I going to play as a freshman, or am I going to just be the soccer player that I am and that was recruited, right? And I think we've got a good mix of everything, to be honest. And I think every recruiting class at every level runs into the same questions and sees the same things. And so right now we've got a handful of kids that are in the mix and having a conversation and challenging folks and forcing folks to have to defend their roles, responsibilities, positions, and so on and so forth. And we've got some folks that are kind of testing the water still and figuring out where they're willing to put themselves out there and, kind of fail forward, so to speak. And yeah, it's not anything different, I don't think, than anybody else is running into. And we're pleased with the mix that we do have and the impact that they're offering and making on the program.
No, Matiana, Coach talks about, that transition period for these incoming, first years within this program. For you as one of the senior leaders, how have you kind of shouldered that leadership responsibility? What has been kind of your message to some of these younger athletes on your team, and how have you helped kind of develop and nurture them as they go through this transition process, something, similar to what you went through over the course of your career heading into this season?
I think right now I'm just trying to instill the whole balance. I want them to understand that, we are in school, we do play soccer, but at the end of the day, we have to take care of ourselves, we have to take care of our bodies because we are athletes. We do have to play at the end of the day. We do have to show up for practice. And I think another thing is just energy. Just find it somewhere in you. Leave whatever happened throughout the day leave it at the door. Leave it at the gate of the practice gates. Like, it's time to play soccer. Just forget about it all. Like, this is an escape, and just kind of trying to instill the love of the sport in them, that it's something that we care about. It's something that we want to play. Like, you chose to be here for a reason. So let's play soccer.
Chloe, finally wrapping up with you, as you've had conversations with some of the other senior leaders within this group and your teammates about some of the goals and expectations of this season coming into the year. What have those conversations looked like? And ultimately, what do you see as being key in order to accomplishing those heading into?
I know for the seniors, and I've kind of touched on this in a couple of my previous responses, but for the seniors, we really wanted to leave a healthy environment. Coming through this, we've come through a lot of different coaches and assistant coaches, and it's just been a tumultuous couple of seasons. But now with Coach Macias here staying for more than 1 year, which is new for Monty and I, we really just want to instill this peace within the team and help to keep that peace and keep the growth going for the team so they can continue to build good chemistry with every recruitment class that comes in thereafter, and just help keep that happy, good vibe going. So for the seniors, that's been just a point of contention for us. We're like, no, if it comes to it, we're going to help you. We're going to step in and find some way that we can help further your progression into some good path of some sort. But that's sort of what it's looked like. We really want to just help grow this team in terms of not only as soccer, but also as people. And then on the soccer aspect, we're going for conference tournament. That's the goal. No, nothing else. We're getting there.
And finally, Coach, to wrap up with you, one of the great things about sports is, the idea of success can be measured in so many different ways, right? We have wins and losses and statistics, and those can be black and white. But then, just listening to your athletes and their answers, there's clearly successes beyond the lines of field of play. So when you talk about success with your program and your student athletes, what is that message that you try and deliver? And ultimately, this season looks successful if what plays out over the course of 2024.
I mean, honestly, like you said, right, you've got the wins and losses that are black and white, but I also think those are only, skin deep. Graduation rates for us are huge. We want everybody to move on and have that path forward academically and professionally. I think as people, you watch them develop, and that's always awesome. And keeping in touch with former athletes over the last, 30-something years, watching them start to adult, go through that and have those conversations and being part of their life, through that process is awesome as well. And so for me, in all fairness, when it comes to soccer pieces, I can state some highlights, right? But the games I remember are not the ones we really won. It's the ones we might have lost that were whatever. But my biggest memories are the kids, the players, the athletes, the relationships we developed and moments that we had, whether they're, some moments of struggle, some high moments of celebration, or just some banter back and forth. And I feel like I've got way too many folks that I still call that I've coached and pick up right where we left off, whether it was yesterday or, 6 or 8 months ago. And so for me, the achievement is just, being a part of their lives for this phase, right? And then trying, hoping that some of that pushes on and continues. Everything else is pretty fleeting, to be fair.
Schreiner University head women's soccer coach Damian Macias, along with leadership from seniors Matiana Cancino and Chloe Mills. Mountaineers will open up the 2024 campaign when they take on Texas A&M San Antonio on August 30th. Coach Matiana, Chloe, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.